Hey, how you doing? Tony Wasinski, official aviator of the podcast, Red Line Radio. And here he is, fresh back from his indoor bocce league, Frankie Bergasetti.
Hey, how you doing?
How's his shoulder?
It's going all right. You know, wrapped it up. Icy hot. Bengay, you name it.
I know. It's an important time of the season for you. A lot of wear and tear over the summer. And people tend to think it's a wrist action. It's more of a total body movement, I understand.
You got to get low, got to get the knees involved. But I enjoy it. I enjoy the camaraderie, and I enjoy having a Miller Lite while I do it.
There's no doubt about it. That's why I brought it up. I know, because every time we talk, you say win or lose, the cold ones come out. Buckets?
Pitchers.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they got the small, thin, the 12-ounce cup?
Yes. You know, it's those pitchers, they got the grooves. You couldn't see through it if it was a window.
You know, as you say this, I realize there's a billion ways to enjoy a Miller Lite.
So many.
Seemingly endless. And that's why I want to encourage everybody to go out and get some great tasting less fun. Where can they get some?
Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/redline to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere that they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Hey, how you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Chicago sports fans. This is Barstool Carl.
And White Sox Dave.
Chief. Eddie.
This is Red Line Radio and All Gas No Break Chicago Sports Podcast brought to you by Miller Lite and Barstool Sports Chicago. What's your fucking problem, Dave?
I don't got a problem. Well, actually, no, I do got a problem. Brandon Walker's a fucking idiot. I want to punch him in the head right now.
Why?
So everybody's seen the Taylor Swift versus Whitney Houston debate, and I don't even really know what the argument is because I think everybody's in agreement that Whitney Houston has the better voice, but Taylor Swift is probably got the better catalog, the longer catalog.
That's it. End of discussion.
End of discussion. So I don't know what the argument is. But Gaz, our sales guy Gaz, tweeted his top 5 female vocalists ever. And I didn't want to get in on the convo. And
yes, you did.
I didn't, though. I didn't. It was stupid. It was a stupid conversation because there is no argument.
Aren't you blogging it right now?
You like to be heard.
But he had his top 5 list, so that changed the thesis at hand. So I quote tweeted, he had all the chalk picks of Mariah Carey, and I said, take out Mariah Carey and put in Bonnie Raitt or Norah Jones. And Brandon Walker had this. It was the Steve Harvey gif, like disgusted that I chose one. And I was like, I'm outraged for many reasons at his response. And he's a fucking lemming. He's a lemming is what he is.
Who's a lemming?
I think it's hard.
Who do you
Walker?
think?
I think it's hard to say Walker is a lemming.
I thought you were going to say Gas.
While he's going toe-to-toe with the Swiftie army. You can't, that's what I mean. It would be way easier for him to just bow to the mob.
But no. We're not talking about Taylor Swift anymore.
Sure, but I'm saying if you're like what'd you say? He's a lemming?
He's a lemming.
You can't say he's a lemming if he's going against Taylor Swift.
That's not what I'm talking about, though. I'm talking about me and his response to my 2 picks.
Okay.
For that 5th spot.
Wait, what were the 2 picks again?
Norah Jones and Bonnie Raitt.
I would agree with Bonnie Raitt.
And you have a noted great taste in music, is that right?
I think I got a pretty good taste in music.
Is that right,
but
Chief?
music's subjective.
Why Tom's smirking over here?
right.
What is that face, Tom?
This is
you
why
spend
I'm
a lot
doing
of
it.
time at a jukebox.
Because I'd love you to weigh in here because...
Well, Eddie started smiling at me first. I think it's just because of the argument we had from the last episode.
Yeah.
Well, Tom had something you really want to get off his chest. And just say it. You had a problem with Chief being like, yeah, Dave, you have a great taste in music.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, we went over that last time.
I don't think we.
Well, no,
it's
that was an indictment against the entire office.
It turns into like an echo chamber between the 3 of you guys. You have great taste in music. No, you have great taste in music. You have great taste, and it just so happens you just happen to like the same music.
No,
so it's
for sure.
So I think as a point of clarification, I think Dave and I do have similar music tastes, but he has a broader depth of knowledge about it. So he'll bring people that he'll know that I'll like. And
broader depth of knowledge within the genre that you guys like.
For sure.
I mean,
I'd say that's fair.
But
Dave does not have a vast.
He just doesn't like EDM, Tom.
I think there's a time and place for it. I do like
hip hop,
EDM, though.
And you
I
just,
do
that,
like.
Those are
there's a time and place for that, though, and I don't think a road trip is one of those times and places. Road trips like kind of background music in the midst of conversation.
We're not talking about the road trip part.
But I do like EDM. I do like. I just think there's a time and place like there is for any other type of music. Like you don't hear me blasting country music. I mean, hardly ever. But if I am, it's in the summer. I think it's summertime music. EDM, like I'm going out on a Saturday night. I'm in a basement. I'm at a bar. Like that's completely fine. I enjoy that music in that setting, but not on a road trip. That's why, like, I think you are kind of. You're misinformed, I think would be the right way to put it on my musical taste.
Respond.
Setting matters
Respond.
for sure.
But I do
respond.
think that Dave has a more knowledgeable, like he's more knowledgeable about music than I am. So that's what I was saying with that. But I do think we typically like the same types of music. Yes.
Yeah, I think Eddie just wanted to get
Eddie wanted to stir the pot.
a little
No,
bit
he
for a second.
absolutely did.
What do you mean? See, this is where it's bullshit. There was a topic that was brought up by Dave. Dave said, "Oh, I'm mad that Brandon Walker." It just so happens Tom was a little hot, not hot, but like he had some takes about your music discussion. He was like, "You guys don't understand." Like and Dave surprisingly he said it beforehand. He said it's subjective,
Definitely.
But that didn't happen on the last podcast. So that's my point.
Yeah, that's why I think like I can't really. There's nothing to argue with. Dave just had a very rational response.
So, in the
there.
sake of banter, I was like, let's bring Tom in the mix.
Like I'm not gonna play Skrillex on a 4-hour, 5-hour road trip.
Yeah,
Like,
well, all right. Well, that's the only thing I would argue there is like you just go to the extreme. Like there's other parts, there's other subgenres within electronic music that you can play on a road trip and you can enjoy.
I asked for your opinion, and I'm like, "Hey, Tom, you got anything? You could have given me."
Well,
one of
because
those
you guys were in the headspace of like if anything I put on, you guys would like
that is
shit on.
absolutely
That's
not true.
We're very
absolutely
open-minded.
not true.
We're very open-minded.
Okay.
Wait.
I love finding new music. That's one of my favorite things I do.
So go back to why you didn't want to get involved in the argument in the first place.
Because it was I would have been inserting myself into the argument well after the argument had started. And
Okay.
it wasn't between me. It was between Brandon and all the New York people, and I wasn't there. But when Gaz tweeted his top 5 musical or female vocalists ever, like that shifted the argument to something. I'm like, oh, I can give my opinion on this. And so I said Bonnie Raitt and Norah Jones. And Bonnie Raitt, I think it's objectively, like, if you Google best
No
female,
clue who she is.
you don't know.
Ooh, Angels in Montgomery.
Nothing.
Let's
Yeah.
give them something to talk about.
Something.
You don't know that one either?
No, I mean, I
Love
would
Me Like
a Man
recognize. I
song,
would
yeah.
recognize that if
I
that
didn't know
came
the
out,
name
but
either.
yeah, no, it's fine.
Okay.
I mean, she's from the 70s.
I want to make
She's
a stand
still
for
around.
people who don't know stuff and they are in social situations and they feel obligated to know it. And this is a classic one. I don't know it, and I'm
Okay,
sorry.
well, Bonnie
and it's
Raitt
okay
is
to
a
not know.
very-
Is my point.
No, no,
Sure,
that's
but
fine.
like once we say, those.
Yeah,
songs,
100%,
yes.
and I don't want to be disrespectful to your taste or to her legacy. I just think that this is a classic thing that people
Yeah, you don't want to
find themselves in where they're
How
like,
old is Brandon, like 45?
And it's like, should I ask? Should I not ask? And
Yeah.
then for the sake of not being awkward, I'm willing to ask, who is this woman? And thank you
So
for...
she was from the she was
I didn't know who she was.
hugely
what?
famous in
I
the
didn't know.
70s.
And you did that
Yeah.
whole fucking thing and didn't say one word about it, Tom?
Well,
I was
the
trying to say
conversation
when you
wasn't
were in the
really
middle
about them.
I was trying to say in the middle of a.
To be fair,
all you need to know about her is if you like, she's objectively, like, everybody will say she's
powerhouse.
a powerhouse vocalist and guitarist, but that doesn't really have anything to do with it. And then like it's a chalk pick. It's like right up there with anybody else who's on the Mount Rushmore of greatest female vocalists, I would say. But Norah Jones, that's a more obscure pick, and I knew that. But if anybody has ever listened to Norah Jones sing, you'd be like, that girl has one of the best voices of all time. And she has a very different voice than a lot of, like, it's so,
I like
what's
Norah
the
Jones.
opposite of cookie cutter? I said obscure, but like
You think Norah Jones is?
no,
Oh.
she is Norah Jones. No one compares her. She's her own style.
She's coffee house.
I mean,
There's.
I
I think there's
think
people like
that's
her.
got a bad stigma to it, though. Yeah, there's other people like her, but she's the best on earth at what she does. But I love her, and
Yeah, I like
and
her
I knew
too.
it was an outside the box pick. But like Brandon responded, like he was disgusted with the pick. Like it
Now,
had no.
are you biased because she gave you one of your first boners?
That's not true.
You said that earlier.
I said
before.
I had like a celebrity crush on her. She was one of my first celebrity crushes for sure. And I don't know how to word this without like getting fucking canceled, but like she's not even that like holy shit attractive. She's like a normal looking girl, and that makes her more attractive in a weird way to me. But I think it's if you listen to her talk,
she's attainable.
You are like, holy fuck, her voice is incredible. And Brandon was just like sickened that I even threw her out there, and it pisses me off. So I want to fight Brandon right now. And that's it. That's it, Ed.
Ed, did you get the answer you wanted there?
Yeah, indirectly, but we took a lot of left turns, but we got there, right?
I was really surprised you guys didn't know who Bonnie Raitt was.
But you also, Dave, like you, I don't know. I'm just upset a little bit in your music.
I mean,
portfolio.
And that was like I said, it's all subjective. Like
but it dates back
Mariah
to a blog
Carey.
you wrote.
What did I write
in 2019 about the best guitarist? And then who was it that you said was the best guitarist?
Probably Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah, and then you wrote the blog, and you're like, I actually don't believe this, but that was the headline. Do you remember that?
I
forgot who it was. We actually did a dog walk on it.
I remember that. I think because
you don't think he's the best.
It was Eric Clapton. Is who we were talking about, because I left Eric Clapton off because like everybody thinks that. I was kind of throwing some random.
Forget exactly what the
I forget what it was,
but whatever.
But yeah, like it's crazy that anybody would like argue with it on a subjective list. But even then, I looked it up. Norah Jones has won 9 Grammys. Mariah Carey's won 5 Grammys.
He probably just thought you were being a little hipster.
Not that means a ton.
Yeah,
I know that. Yeah. I know that. But I mean, she's won that many for a reason. It's not like it's some fucking out of this world pick where I was just trolling or something. And that's what he reacted like. So that's it.
Okay.
Brandon, you guys want to talk about sports?
Brandon fucking Walker. Yeah, I do. But first, I want to have a word about our good friends at Chicago Chevy Lane.
Chicago Chevy.
It's that time of
Chevy
year.
Drive Chicago.
I heard a little clink in my in my car last week. Took it to Chevy. I fired up ChevyDriveChicago.com. Found local Chevy dealership. Took it in. A couple hours later, no clink. No clinkage, Ed.
Fix it right up. What they
fix
tell
it
you.
right up. Oh, I mean, they did their. I mean, I don't know a fucking
full
thing about
diagnostics.
cars.
Yeah, and it doesn't even matter because you know you can trust them.
Right.
Did you get a tire rotation?
I'm due for one probably in about 6 months.
And you know where to go.
ChevyDriveChicago.com.
Find your local dealer. You could just type in your zip code, which is nice.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So it just boom, and it just could take you to the nearest local dealer. Get the brakes checked. Get the oil changed. You need a good place like Chevy Drive Chicago to make sure the stuff's getting done.
Amen.
Preach.
ChevyDriveChicago.com.
All right, we owe everybody an apology. Do we? Is that how we want to do this? When the props fail as miserably as they do last night, do we apologize? Am I going to get a call from someone from Penn National? Hey, Carl, this is not.
I think Billy Donovan should apologize to us.
You know what? That's one of my worst fucking things on the internet right now. So since Barstool is owned by Penn, people assume that like we, as in the 4 people, 6 people, whoever in this room, are the book. I lost money on that bet too, assholes. You fucking assholes. Like, I'm sorry that the bet didn't hit. I'm not trying to rip anybody off. I'm trying to give better odds to you guys.
I'm personally upset about it. And I personally want to say, I don't know if I can get behind anything anymore that doesn't have Levine or DeRozan in it. It's like you watch and they take every fucking shot. So it's hard to be, like I think going forward, like I think we just got to stick to that. If you don't know what we're talking about at all, we had a player prop for the Lakers-Bulls game. Caruso to score 10 against his old team and the Bulls to win. The Bulls beat the fuck out of them. Caruso took 1 shot.
That's what I mean. Like Billy Donovan should apologize to us. And then we'll relay
it's that. It's not Billy Donovan.
Billy Donovan owes us no apologies.
Yeah, but you can draw something up for him at the end of the game.
It was... At the
end of the game? How about the start of the game?
Or the start of the game.
Took one shot?
Either way.
Did we say it? Bulls to win. The Bulls were minus 130 at the tip. I think when the prop got issued, too, did people think LeBron was playing? Because Alex Caruso to score 10 and the Bulls to win outright was plus 550.
It was a great bet.
The Bulls were minus 130 money line. So are you telling me Alex Caruso's like
can't get to the line a few times?
4.5 to 1 at tip to get to 10? Is that what it was?
And he started.
Yeah. How many minutes did he play last night? 30?
Oh, he fucking roasted the Clippers. Anybody get a chance to watch that? He absolutely roasted the Clippers.
He's averaging 7.5 for the year. So to get like an extra 3 in a game against your former team, that to me feels like a pretty good bet. Not the case.
Ed?
Yeah, I'm just frustrated. It's just a gambling frustration. I'm very happy with what the Bulls are at, just to be clear. But just from a gambling perspective,
34 minutes.
He had played 34 minutes. He took one shot.
That's crazy.
He took one shot. He had 6 rebounds, 5
He
assists.
didn't even tickle balls with the trip to the foul line.
I know, dude. He legitimately took one shot.
And he was plus 28 on the game, which is hilarious.
Yeah, it was a 3 from the corner, and he bricked it.
It's great. It's great. I mean, we lose a bet, but it's like amazing. This guy plays 34 minutes, 1 field goal attempt, and they dismantled the Lakers. I know no LeBron, but still, you're on a West Coast road trip. I think this is the 3rd game in it, 4th game in it.
Does it worry you at all, though, that, I mean, something could be figured out by a good coach and a good scheme here if they just, I mean, you watch the Bulls and you know what's going to happen every time.
I want to do this. Let's scheme. I've been thinking about this too.
I mean, I'm trying to think, but it's legitimately, you watch the game and it's just.
Assume Vooch is out, healthy. You have a loaded front. Fuck you, Lonzo Ball's.
He's played well, yes.
Last night he was on
sick.
He's
7 of 10 from 3.
Yeah, he shot 10 for 13 for.
So that's why I just like don't tell me it's just those two because
he had more points than Levine.
Okay, behind Jokic, who has better post moves and is more of a threat within 7 feet. Ayton, if someone's throwing him a lob. I'm honestly thinking like who Embiid, but Embiid's more.
No, Lonzo's been awesome too. I'm not saying anything against him.
I'm talking about Vooch right now.
You're already talking about Vooch. Sorry, I didn't know.
Like from the inside out, you have a top 5 post player. I think. The guys that are 1-2 are significantly better.
Yeah.
But he's not a fucking shabby option. So I'm saying from scheming purposes, how would you shut down the Bulls? Start from the inside out. You have to worry about Vooch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but
you have the best you have the best or one of the best mid-range players.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then you have obviously Levine, who you could say is a top 10 offensive threat, all encompassing.
I think that's fair.
There's
including
a lot of
like efficiency. I know I'm saying like I'm so bullish after watching the Lakers. Like they fucking dismantled the Lakers.
They really did.
Without Vooch, with Caruso, dude, what are you saying they did?
There's no LeBron. Like it's like you can't like they did dismantle Lakers, but they didn't have LeBron. So it's like he looked like it's great. I'm glad, but like
I just wanted to go through and just say they have a top. Okay, fine.
That's it. That's all I'm saying.
And then well, as far as Lonzo Ball is a pass first, shoot second point guard.
He's pass first, pass second. Like last night, I love watching Lonzo. Like that, I think he might be my favorite player on the team. Like he's
good.
He's
awesome.
Great to watch, and like that's like I love a guy who can distribute the ball. And it's not just isolation. Like they all play together. I love watching.
But it still does feel like a lot of isolation. That's my point.
That's the NBA though.
Yeah,
but
I know.
But I'm sure this is something we could look up.
You think so?
I think so.
If they run, how you think they run more isolation than other teams? Because I don't.
I'm not saying.
I'd say it's probably a normal amount.
I would say it's less than the average.
If I'm running a pick and roll, are you calling that isolation?
No.
Watch Zach LaVine with the ball in his hands telling people where to fucking screen, when to screen, who to screen.
What about the Warriors game? That was disgusting.
Yeah.
They got their ass kicked.
I thought Caruso looked good on Steph Curry too, by the way. And he looked great against Paul George.
I thought Lonzo did not look great against Steph Curry.
That's going to happen.
That's a tough matchup for him. That's a tough matchup for anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little rough. Steph Curry got the better of him. But
to be fair, they're also 12-1 and the best defensive team in the third best offensive team. The Warriors are fucking good. They're a wagon, and we don't have Vooch. So you have what? Tony Brown. How many minutes did he play?
Yeah, it's not that. I mean, everything's fine. Everything's great. We're 10-4. Yeah. I guess I'm more just like, how do you, like, is this gravy train going to come to an end? Is there a way that this stops?
Well,
I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
What are your?
No.
What do you want?
You don't think so?
I don't, because they're in historically for this is the worst part of the year for the Bulls. Is by the end of this road trip, the season's over. Well, this is like a horrible stretch for us. Yeah, okay, they fucking played like shit against the Warriors. Dude,
but I mean, that's
handily defeated the Clippers. Handily defeat the Lakers.
Yeah, I mean,
they beat the shit out of the Mavs.
Right. So if they now on this road trip, so they've won 2 out of 3, and they got Portland and Denver next. So if they split those. If they split those, see, they beat the Trailblazers, lose the Nuggets. I feel like that is a very good Western road trip.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
So I guess when you're like, do you think this gravy train is ending? I guess what are your expectations for the team?
I just like, is there an opportunity here where, with DeRozan and Zach, how good they are, that this turns into like a Beal Wall situation where you got 2 awesome players? That's what I mean. I think Ball and Vooch are just so important, and like to make sure that they're involved in like in the mix, which I know they're going to be. It's just, I don't know. I'm just looking out for it, I guess. Because there's going to be days where those guys are not going to fucking do what they're doing.
Yeah, but
that's my whole point.
I think that are you talking? So I guess like I don't care about losing a game to the Warriors here, and like that's the nature of pro sports. Right? Everybody gets paid. Like they're all these teams are fucking good. I guess my expectations for this team are just in that 50 win, 55 win range, and you get a top 4 seed in the East, and then you win a playoff round, and then it's like, hey, that was.
It doesn't seem like Carl's on that same page.
What do you mean?
Are you? I feel like you have higher hopes than that.
I mean, I think they can win 60 games. I think all
60 is a lot.
Yeah, I know it is a lot.
That's a lot of fucking games.
I know it is, but like it just checks out.
Do we got an updated future over under?
Like, dude, I'm looking at the schedule, and they have a couple, especially in December. They've got this stretch where it's like 2 against the Pistons, 2 against the fucking Magic, 2 against the Cavs, 2 against the Pacers. Like, a lot of low travel, high fucking likelihood they just steam. Like, they could be going into January 1, first, second seed in the Eastern Conference with momentum. And, again, they're still learning how to play together. DeRozan, I think there's a risk. I don't think he's going to go out and score 35-plus every night. But the fact that every night he goes out there and has several, more than several, fucking countless, like, great mid-range opportunities. Seems like Billy Donovan knows what he's doing. I feel like DeMar DeRozan's got to feel so empowered too. And Levine, this is the best team he's ever played on. So now you're just feeling like this young guy.
60 is just so many.
Okay, 58. I definitely think they can be a top 3 seed in the Eastern Conference.
Okay.
I think they would be formidable in the playoffs if they stay healthy and they keep progressing.
So
what we've seen, they look awesome.
The only reason I was saying that is just because I just pulled up the standings. So in 18-19, which is the last full normal regular season, there was one team, the Bucks got 60. The season before that, the Rockets had 65. The next closest was the Raptors at 59. So it's just like, if you're at that like 58, 59, 60 level,
there's a lot of it's almost 750.
Yeah, you're one of the very best teams in the league, and we've seen the Bulls go up against the Sixers, lose twice, and we've seen them go up against the Warriors and lose. So that to me just, I don't know, I could be reading too much into it early in the year, but that to me would signal that they're probably around the 50-win team.
I think they just, and especially first year, when you get the burst going, it's like, how good can we be? They're not walking around with expectations or anything. Like, these guys are literally just showing up, trying to be awesome. And so I think there could be a spurt there. I don't know if they're playing as well as they can. And they have so many interchangeable parts. Again, Caruso fucking torched the Clippers and then took one shot the next night and was like a plus 20 in both nights. I mean, the depth too. The guys that are coming off the bench too aren't anything. It's interchangeable. It's long. It's lean. It's athletic. It's to me, it's a team that can show up because you don't have fucking somebody takes a night off. It's like, It seems to me like it's a team that can consistently show up throughout the course of the season. I know it's November, whatever.
16th is my dad's birthday.
So whatever. I mean, you're not. I just don't think you're like. I'm not even joking when I say this. Like, it is concise as I can say. I just don't know if you're seeing red.
Stop.
Wow.
Stop.
I guess I'm just kind of enjoying the ride. Like I don't. It sounds like you have championship aspirations.
I don't think so. I think I have like heartbreak in the playoff aspirations, and I think this is like still part of like a. I think when they go get Jokic in free agency, what are you giggling at?
I hadn't considered that.
The slam dunk. That was like the first thing people said. No offense. Like when AK got, it was like, oh, he's the guy who brought in development. Now whether that's true or not, he scouted and picked the guy.
Yeah.
Then I think you can be walking around with champion. NBA, no, we're not winning a championship. Are they? I think it's enough. I think they have enough for us to follow, like intensely.
It'll. Yeah, I think I'm just enjoying the ride. Like I know I have plans to watch, and it's going to be enjoyable. It's going to be an enjoyable 3 hours, 3 times a week, 3 times a week, and then like I think I. It doesn't feel to me like the Cubs in 16 or when the Hawks were great, where it's like you got to win. You got to win the championship. It doesn't feel like that. It's just like, hey, this is a good, fun team, and I'm just like enjoying that.
All I was trying to say was I just want to see what's going to happen when one of those guys are not shooting the lights out.
They'll lose.
You really need to leave. But that's why like you can't rely on this many guys.
What?
Like Bradley looked horrible yesterday. Horrible.
Yeah.
Like, are we good enough to overcome that? That's what I don't know.
Probably not. I mean, in the playoffs?
Yeah.
But that's like, if Trae Young has a bad night, well, the Hawks are fucked. Like
I think the Bulls are way more protected than that.
Yeah, I would agree too. But it's like I think you can take that comment. What happens when one of the guys doesn't show up? Well, then they lose. But I think you say that for.
But that's my point is where it's like I'd like to see more people get involved. That's all I said.
Okay.
6-man rotation with Vooch healthy. It's a meaning like the top 6. It's just 6 guys eat, then you got another couple guys that come off.
It's all right to look ahead and be like, all right, well, this is going great now. What could go wrong? That's all I'm doing. Seems like people don't like that.
What's a plan to fail to plan?
Yeah, I feel like I called my dad and I'm telling him how great like freshman year of college is, and he's like, well, make sure you know this and that. You got this coming up, the test. And
well, it's going to be over in 4 years.
I'm like, all right, I'll get out the pom poms.
No. I'll okay, that's it. Thanks, Dad.
All right, I will get out the pom poms. We'll say fun, and we'll say it's great.
It's not the only alternative I'm looking. I mean, it's not.
Are you going to say brew?
It's like that or the complete alternative.
We'll do some emojis when people do dunks. That's what we'll do. That's what we'll do with the Bulls.
Sounds like Ed's miserable again. Can never enjoy it. Even in like 18 when the Bears were playing
I never said that at all. I literally just asked, they're 10-4. If there was an opportunity here, like what's going to happen if they don't get other people involved? That's literally all I said.
Yeah.
That's all I said.
Brew.
Yeah, that's what we need, I guess. Brew. We need red pom-poms. I guess that's what the show is.
I thought we gave back pretty good, like, well, Lonzo, this and that, Vooch, Billy Donovan. You also have Kobe coming off the bench, and I also think Zach LaVine's in a part of his career where he doesn't have to put up 25 shots to win, and he knows that. He probably doesn't. Who wants to put up 25 shots to have to win a fucking NBA game every single night? He's probably delighted. And the fact that we're talking about it 13 games in the season, 14 games in the season, that it hasn't happened where like, yo, LaVine shot us out of a game. Has he?
Not off the top of my head.
Not off the top of my head either.
So.
Not off the top of my head. That's it. That's all I'm saying. I just think it's going to be really important to get Jones and Bradley and all these guys involved. That's it. That's all. That's all I said.
Jones is, yeah.
What are you laughing about?
I mean, it feels like we got Frank Tank Bulls fan over here.
Yeah.
What do you mean? This is like not true at all.
This is the first time the Bulls have been competitive and good and have legitimate playoff aspirations in years.
I watched almost every game.
I know.
So like,
but it sounds like you're not enjoying watching those games.
No, I am enjoying. What do you like? That's the problem with a lot of Barstool. It's like you can't criticize your teams or else you're negative. And it's not even criticism. It's like, I wonder what that's going to look like if this ever happens.
Well, I think
it's like, you're going to wonder that?
Well, it's just like you go to the middle of the list.
We just went to the Staples Center.
I agree that you're not being negative. You're bringing something up, but you're going to the middle of the list. Someone's like, hey, 2021 Bulls. What day is today? November 16th, 2021 Bulls. You're going to the middle of the list.
What's that mean?
I don't know what that means either.
If I got to put a list together of the stuff I want to talk about in the 2021 Bulls, you're in the middle of the list. Because I'm not going to sit here and just suck fucking Levine and DeRozan's dick the whole time. We know they're awesome. We know they're good. Is that what we want to do? Oh, it's so good. I didn't say we did. No one. I don't think we came in here and were like, let's fucking blow these guys.
But like you're saying to me, like unless I'm missing.
What's your analysis then? What's your analysis on the team?
We start off by asking about the Caruso prop bet, and we're joking around about that.
And that made me sit there and think. It made me sit there and think that Caruso prop bet taking one shot. I was like, man, that's interesting. You know, Caruso started. He played that many minutes. Like, is there going to be a possibility where this team doesn't really share the ball and they have an issue down the line? That's all I brought to the table. Yeah. And that's negative. That's Frank the Tank.
No, that's not negative at all. That's great.
Well, that's what Chief
insightful
said.
Point.
I'm saying, but I'm saying I'm saying your criticism to me feels like something that you could cast at any fucking team in the league. So it's like, yeah, well, no shit.
I wouldn't even call it criticism either. It's not criticism. Like Eddie's not even like you're not being critical of the Bulls.
No, you're wondering what happened, right?
For purposes of the boys kicking it around.
Yeah, you're saying
Tuesday morning. Talking Bulls.
What happens if one of these two guys, the two main scorers, don't come to play on a given night? Like, do they have enough? And it's like, well, yeah, I said that they'll probably lose.
I mean, who?
But that to me is just
on the flip side. What teams do have the depth of options that the Bulls have?
That's what I'm saying.
Front five, it's hard.
It's
pretty
tough.
My point is like, but we don't have guys that have played for a long. We don't have a JaVale McGee that at least like he's been there. Does that make sense?
Give me talent over experience, Ed.
Don't distract me with the JaVale McGee.
But I'm just that's
exactly what he was doing. That is exactly
what
he was doing right there.
Like one of the biggest knuckleheads of all time who rides the bus to and has like a couple moments in the play.
But he's been there. That's what I'm saying.
Like, talent over experience every time.
Like there's still like Tony Bradley bounced around on 4 different teams.
Mm-hmm. Caruso just won a championship.
Yes, I know, and he's part of it. I'm just saying there's a couple bench pieces where it's like, I want to see them get really involved.
Dude, the bench is thin. They have a trade exception. They basically have room to make one meaningful move this year, and that's it. So before Patrick Williams got hurt, it would be mid-season big man in either defensive if they don't have reserves or offensive if they needed somebody else to like offset Vooch and give him a break with minutes.
That's good stuff. Derek Jones, Tony Bradley bounced around in the D League and shit. It's all right, I think, to ask them to be more them more involved.
You're a little caught up because I don't think anybody's – it's not criticism, and I don't think anybody's caught up with you asking these questions. That's not at all.
No, but it's like you can't then it's pom-poms and emojis if you have a more positive tone. And it's like, well, that cuts both ways.
I'm positive though. That's what I don't understand.
Now that's a tough sell.
How can you not be positive? We just went back to back in LA.
I'll let the audience answer that.
How?
Because my opinion's only going to be biased, so we'll only let the audience.
Listen, if the Bears won 4 in a row. But it's like, man, but we can't establish a run game. And be like, oh, this is great, but man, I wonder if there's one day where the run game's not going to come.
2 years ago, and you fucking went off on me.
When
I said that the Bears were they were smoke and mirrors. That's exactly what happened, Ed. That's exactly what happened. When they were like 3-1 to start the year.
I don't remember.
And I'm like, I do not trust this team because those were when they beat.
Was this when you shit
out
Eddie Jackson?
Yeah,
and Roquan Smith.
I believe so.
Well,
I don't know if I ever shit on Roquan Smith.
We're time stamping it.
I'm just asking.
But you fucking no. This is exactly what happened. We were in Philly at the gambling house, and you like got pissed off at me, and you're like, "Go suck Aaron Rodgers' dick," because I said that the Bears they were 3-1 at the time. And I'm like, this seems not good. You fucking lost your mind on me. It was in front of Marty Mush. And
that was another situation.
It was not. We were talking about the Bears. I am 1,000% positive.
You did tell him to suck Aaron Rodgers' dick. I don't remember him leaving.
I don't remember.
He left.
Whatever.
I don't know if this is about the Bears.
But it was the exact same situation. I'm like, this team stinks. Like, don't let the record fool you.
No, if that was the same situation, that would be me saying, like, Giannis. Like, oh, we still got to get through Giannis. And then someone would be like, go suck Giannis's dick. We could beat Giannis. That's not apples to apples, in my opinion.
I mean, it's directionally correct.
I can't remember. I don't remember.
I don't know if you were there. It might have just been him and I. But it was in Philadelphia, and you got pissed off at me because I said the Bears are not good. And what they end up that year? Fucking 7-9.
Well,
is Nagy getting to you? Be honest with me.
About what?
Like, have the Bears done this to you? Because here's the Bulls have me in a position to be fucking free and easy during the bye week. I'm like double positive because we need it. It's like when you're down, tell me you're playing blackjack, Ed. Tell me the fucking chips are down. Tell me you hit a big blackjack. Tell me you hit a big double down. When you need it bad, that doesn't hit a little different.
I don't.
And then it hits and you're going, well, I know I'm going to lose the next one.
It's pretty evident. No one believes me, but like I'm happy about the Bulls. I like watching them, but I don't know what else. I don't know what I could do to.
That's why I'm just giving my. I'm giving my perspective. I'm not. Hey, you can speak for yourself. I'm giving you my perspective and saying that's how I feel. I feel like my chips are down. I feel like I just got a big fucking hand. The stack's starting to come back a little bit. Little Cubs offseason news.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Illini football, maybe a trap game here, Iowa.
Maybe it should have been my first talking point, perhaps.
No. What? Okay.
But that's it.
Let's have a word from our sponsors.
Which one?
White Sox Dave.
What you got for us today, Carl?
Maybe we should just have this conversation over a rack of ribs. And see if
you know what? I think that's great. And it's been a minute since I've had a good rib, and I'm really itching for a good rib.
Mm-hmm.
Where can I get that good rib?
Oh, you want to go to Gale Street then?
Do you want to go right after this show?
Yeah. Should we invite Ed or no?
I mean, he's just going to be a Debbie Downer the whole time.
I'm not going with you guys.
Sourpuss over there.
There's Gale Street.
I will definitely come with you guys.
Okay. What do you get there?
Yeah, what do you get there?
Ribs, of course. French onion. I get potato skins. I mean, you can't go wrong. The whole menu is awesome. 4914 North Milwaukee.
I do feel like it is like good fall weather food too.
It's very good.
Yeah.
It's very good for the fall.
Mm-hmm.
GaleStreet.com. Go pick it up. It's right off the Jeff Park Blue Line. So you can go check it out. They're open, I believe, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So make sure you get it on a day that they're
It is a
gonna be
perfect football Sunday meal.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if we've ever had a potato draft. Have we done? Au gratin potatoes are fucking phenomenal, and they do them unbelievable.
The potato is such an underrated food. That's a
staple.
Ed,
what, Dave?
tell the people about the jambalaya over at Gale Street Inn.
Why don't you tell them?
I'm pretty on record, I would say.
Well, Dave, why don't you talk about the live acoustic music? When can people?
Can you play one day? Oh, that'd be great.
One day. One day. But the jambalaya at Gale Street Inn is absolutely outstanding. You wouldn't think so because it's a rib joint, and not a Cajun joint, not a Louisiana joint.
Well, it's hard to order the jambalaya because you just get caught up when you see the crab legs. And the crab legs are their house favorites. It's a staple. And I think Chief said this the other day. He came in, and I was like, what's with the smile? You seem so happy. And he goes, I fucking just remembered this morning on my walk in that oysters, Rockefeller are back on the menu.
Can you believe that, Ed? Can you believe that?
I could, because I've had them.
Tell the people about how
I've seen them with
Chief
my eyes.
loves oyster Rockefeller. He loves a tinfoil Tuesday on the Rockefeller family.
I do love that as well.
Just the name in general commands respect. That's what Gale Street Inn does. On the menu, day in, day out, every fucking entree.
It's a great date spot, too.
Yeah, great date spot. I said this last week, I believe it was. The people get, I want to say, use the word intimidated by the location of Gale Street Inn. I live in Lincoln Park, near the lake. It took me 15 minutes to get out there. I mean, it's a half-hour round trip. It's nothing. It's like going to the West Loop from Lincoln Park. It's a quick drive, nice and easy. So this Sunday, I would implore you to go get a couple racks of ribs, some jambalaya, all ground potatoes, all that stuff, and you got your football Sunday spread taken care of for you.
That's
ribs travel. Ribs travel.
That endorsement hits You know when Dave's talking about a nice rack.
You know what?
The
Gail
fact
Street
that's
might
not like
have
a
the
more
best
targeted
rack.
campaign where like Dave's like, I gotta go get a good rack. Like
Speaking
Dave's
of-
hunt for great racks.
Speaking
of
about
ribs.
hunting for racks, Chief,
Am
and
I
are
onto
going
something,
hunting this
Tom? Like
weekend.
you're a
that's
producer.
like
Like, could you sell that upwards to the right channels at HQ?
Yeah, that's like a perfect crossover. It's like a Happy Gilmore, like a hole-in-one Subway
Talk
sandwich.
about a hole in one.
Talk about a great rack.
I love it.
Perfect.
Dave,
Perfect.
you should be our rib guy.
I can be a rib guy.
Rex. Okay, that was a passionate Bulls conversation. The most passionate
I
Bulls
didn't see it
conversation
going that
in the
way.
history of Redline
Brew.
Radio.
All right, what the fuck is brew? You've said it like 17 times on this podcast.
I don't know.
It's
brew.
I'm guessing it's BR.
Because Ed's not brewing us. Because he's not seeing red. Which is ironic considering he's a communist dictator.
True.
At least he admits that.
True.
What else?
Carl, you said you had some heartfelt feelings about the Cubs that you want to get off your shoulder. You want to talk about the Cubs?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the Cubs.
I do. Are we in a safe spot? Do we trust each other? Are we in a safe spot to have this
Not
conversation?
particularly.
Ed?
What is it?
I mean, Ed'll spin your words to make it look bad, but
I guess so.
I just don't. Give me a second. Like, I don't. I want to talk about the Cubs. I just want to make sure that, like, I want to move on from the Bulls stuff. I don't want us to be caught up about the Bulls.
I've moved on.
Promise?
Yeah, I was just talked about fucking racks and playing acoustic guitar with Dave at Gale Street Inn.
I know. Okay.
why are you looking at me, bro?
Say your Cubs shit already.
All right. then.
God
Fine.
damn, you fucking.
You're just like you're.
Ed's all pissed off because we called him out for not seeing red.
Whatever. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, am I wrong by stating that?
Sure.
Am I wrong, Chief?
I want to hear about the Cubs.
Am I wrong?
I'm interested.
Carl, am I wrong? I didn't even have
No.
anything like.
No.
That's what it is, Ed.
This is what happens when the Bulls are back and we're not used to it. So
that's exactly what it is.
how's
That's-
that?
Yeah,
How's
that's
that
it.
for a compromise?
That is absolutely what it boils down to.
I actually think Ed and I think the same thing about the Bulls. You say 60 wins. I say, closer to 50 and lose in the second round. I feel like we probably agree with what they are. I guess you care and I don't.
Why do you say that?
Because I think I would be very satisfied with that for this year.
Yeah, I guess I haven't thought about it like results wise. To be honest.
Okay.
Okay, very happy the Bulls are back.
I'm not. I'm pissed.
0 stars. Absolutely fucking hated it. Okay, I'm actually passionate about the Cubs, and I do want to spend a minute before we wrap up for today's show, because the off season is now underway in the hot stove stuff, and there's like opportunities for me to talk about this stuff and Twitter, and I was like, and blog about it. And I was like, I want to get this out first. Now I want to talk through it and put this out there. And start this conversation for Cubs fans, because I think Cubs fans are fucking delusional. Okay. I think people are absolutely delusional. And I touched on it a little bit last week, I think, with Carlos Rodon and signing fucking Kevin Gossman and people talking about getting Corey Seager and going to get Kyle Seager first so that you could get Kyle Seager to Corey Seager. Which I like Kyle, and I like Kyle Seager. He's a great player. He's going to go in the Hall of very, very good and criminally underrated player. Just completely beside the point. Cubs fans as a whole have lost their mind. And I don't even know if I should say lost their minds, because this is all familiar territory. Unfamiliar territory. I don't know how familiar the territory is. But the sense that I get from everyone is like, well, spend for Corey Seager. Like Bruce Levine's like, well, I have a feeling Corey Seager's a good fit. What's funny, Dave? Well, you're on a message board.
No. I'll explain after. It's funny, though. It's worth talking about.
Talking into a void here.
No, I'm listening. I'm listening.
Stay with me, Lance. All right. The general sentiment of like, well, if we get these two pieces to the rotation, we just added Wade Miley. Now we need a shortstop. There's 4 good shortstops out there. You know, if Jason Hayward bounces back, Wilson Contreras is still just like the continuation of these like if this then that are all very flimsy, and I feel bad for Cubs fans, and I want to try and rally intelligence and rally people that follow the Cubs and are like, here's exactly what I would do. Here's exactly what they should do, and here's what if you'd be a fucking sucker otherwise. Because the first question is, can you win the division? Fucking with the Cardinals? With Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt? No offense to Frank Schwindel and Patrick Wisdom, but like we're gonna need more firepower.
Yeah.
The Brewers pitching staff. Brandon Woodruff, Corbin Burns. The best 1-2 in maybe this side of the fucking Mississippi River.
Okay.
The stuff the Cubs would have to do to just inherently get over that hump is so fucking drastic for years. Why would you not just absolutely bottom out, and I mean tank so fucking hard over the next 2 years? And I mean tanks, like, why would you spend a nickel? Why would you do anything to that payroll? Why would you not save that money, go invest it intelligently, go make 11%, go do some shit with this money that you're like, hey, here's some salary that I just don't want. Who gives a fuck if we win 81 games or if we win 62 games?
That's what I always said when the Sox were rebuilding.
Yeah.
There is no fucking difference.
I just don't know how to get this message out where people are like, well, Corey Seager would, but Trevor Story is not a bad option either. Like, they're all horrible options for the Cubs.
Do you think that the Ricketts have the stomach for that? After, like, they've been getting dragged, I would say, for years now, and they're going to watch Rizzo and all these guys go sign it. What? That's what I mean.
Great
like,
question.
They could make a move that is short-sighted just for PR to sell some season tickets.
And if they do, then go
but
get
the
Corey
Cubs
Seager.
don't really need to fucking do that, though.
I feel like things have changed.
No.
You don't think so?
It's Wrigley
Well,
Field,
I
man.
know their
Baseball,
business
Disney
side's
World.
probably sitting around being like, hey, guys, I don't know how many Schwindy City shirts we're going to sell. Like, we need some fucking storylines and buzz. There aren't any there.
And I know.
I don't disagree. I shouldn't. I do disagree. I think the Cubs are the Cubs. I mean, yeah, their bottom line is going to hurt a little bit because they're not going to be winning for a year or two, but that's the nature of baseball.
I feel like we start to feel that fan base anger or change. I guess the stadium still is usually going to be full, but like after that run in like the mid 2000s or late 2000s with Sombrano and all those guys, people were like, all right, enough. This is not funny anymore, being a level of losers. It did feel like that. And then you win, you get a taste of it, and then you thought you had this dynasty and all gets ripped from you. I do think there is an underlying anger that,
yeah, for sure.
And it's so I don't know if it'll be the same old
in order
how
to play
it was.
Devil's advocate right here. I mean, the Cubs are going to be bad. Say they're a 70-win team, whatever. All the true ticket prices are going to drop. That's just going to bring in the guys. Oh, let's go to a Cubs game for $10 and sit in the bleachers and you just get wasted. I don't know. The Cubs are always going to be fine in that role in my eyes. And I as soon as the season ended, looking at the state of free agency with the CBA coming, all that, I'm pretty positive, and I don't want to even call it short-sighted, that the Cubs are going to end up with one of those premier shortstops. I really think so. And I don't think I think that's someone you can build around. I mean, they're going to have fucking no financial obligations coming, and you got all these guys on the cusp.
It doesn't mean just because you don't have financial obligations doesn't mean you need to go make them.
That's true too.
Like I would just rather see
that.
like an overhaul in infrastructure, overhaul pitching development. I want to see arms. I want to see fucking position players battling it out in AA for the right to be a top 10 prospect. Like they need to get back to that, and they need to like.
So you want scorched earth?
Emphasize that, and then be like, all right, whatever happens at the big league level, like what did the Giants do this year that was amazing? Nothing really. I mean, they went heavy analytics, pitch design, They were so far ahead of the game, they didn't have to overspend that much. I mean, they did still spend a lot of money. Evan Lagoria's not cheap. Buster Posey, Brandon Belt, Brandon Crawford. But there's some kind of middle ground where you can like field a competitive team that thus enables prospects to come up and then establish themselves as superstars. I don't want to be bringing in fucking... Here's Corey Seager. By the way, 3 years from now, Brendan Davis will be on your level. Was like, well, that doesn't do me shit. That just gives me a 3-year window where Corey Seager's walking around being like, I'm a lot better than everybody else here.
Right.
Well, but that does nothing for anybody. You're not going to win the division. You're not going to beat the Cardinals. You're not going to beat the Brewers.
For the record, I agree with you.
I would rather have Freddie Galvis for like $3 million, $600. Listen to me.
I like
Jody Mercer than one of these guys for next year. Because it just why are we making any decisions about the roster with that much money?
And you think it's going to be like an attendance thing? Like, is that what you're saying? Like, they're not going to make money?
I hate the comment that Dave just made about that. Let's go sit in the bleachers for $10 too, because they're not buying that ticket from the Ricketts. Like, that ticket's already sold to somebody who paid a full boat. Yeah, and like, I hate that fucking, like, that pisses me. That's when I got so mad at Danny Wirtz a couple weeks ago. He said something similar. It's like, dude, that is bullshit. So that ticket's already sold. So it would be interesting to see, and that's the people you have to kind of placate. To be like, hey, our season ticket base.
Mm-hmm. It's they're going to spend money internationally. They're going to play to a mid-tier level. Strategically behind closed doors, they're going to be like, listen, fucking give me the Wade Mileys of the world.
Yeah.
There's going to be all these little minor. We don't have a short. That's why I would rather have that go chase 80 fucking wins on the high end. Mm-hmm. I don't even need the transparency either. Just don't make financial commitments right now. Yeah. We don't even know who our prospects. We don't even have prospects. Nothing.
To appease the fan base is what you're saying?
Yeah.
We got a good GM. We got a good assistant GM. They just hired a great assistant pitching coach away from the Yankees that's like fucking master in pitch design, which is a department the Cubs don't even have.
You think people are going to go much in April and May?
Yeah. City? Yeah. And so much of it, how about 50% of people that are in Wrigley Field around or about at any given time are there for the first time, so...
Yeah.
I mean, tourism's not going to stop people from going in there and dropping fucking $75 on a ticket.
Yeah.
Might make them want to go more. It's cheap. Time to go.
Chief, good point about Tom Ricketts. I'm actually interested to see how this plays out. And my closing point on this is I have been dead on arrival with the fucking Cubs since basically they lost and collapsed in 2019. Yu Darvish, Theo steps down, COVID, everything's been a complete fucking joke. And I actually, for the first time in forever, feel like we're back to like, let's fucking talk about some shit. This is what I would do. I mean, I've basically been able to tell you exactly what I would have done for the last. This is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, get rid of these people, turn the page. Get rid of Joe. It sucks we have to get rid of Joe Madden, but you have to get rid of Joe Madden.
Yeah.
So for like years, it's just been like we've just been like circling the wagons, waiting for like the fucking ship to take off. And now I feel like for people that are passionate about baseball the way Dave and I are in this part, like the rebuilding stuff, this is hot shit for the Cubs. This is a big fucking offseason. Next couple of years, like the moves will dictate long-term shit. Very exciting time to be following the Cubs.
Yeah, well, this is the time where you have to, like, it's only for people like you right now, though. You know, like.
So that when I'm in a position now 3 years later to be like, oh, well, this is why this and that.
Of course. Yeah, but it's just like, but like you love it. Like you get excited about it, the building, the prospects, this guy, international money. And then meanwhile, for 3 years, like it's going to be.
Yeah, it's not gonna be great.
Yeah, but.
We're prepared for it.
Yeah, but I agree. The climb is always fun. The climb is great.
Yeah, like Justin Grimm means something to me. CJ Edwards, like these guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is where you build those relationships.
Yep.
That was important for me. Thank you for letting me say all that stuff.
That's your podcast.
Shut up. I woke up and was like, I'm feeling great about the Cubs off season. All right, one more thing. You guys want to talk balls?
Yeah. I mean, if you want to talk about it, the guy to my right does not see red.
I don't. I'm Bing Bong, I guess. Me and Tom.
Bing Bong.
We'll be Bing Bong boys.
Did the BC, did they bring? Are you like, you moving out to Long Island with Lenny?
No, that lost Saturday.
He's moving to
that
Hoboken.
Lost Sunday too. Hoboken?
Hoboken.
What do you think of Hoboken as a New York guy?
It's nice. I would never live there, but it's definitely a great place to live if you work in New York.
See, when I go to New York, I feel like I would live in Hoboken.
Oh, yeah, you would. Yeah. All you guys would.
100%.
That felt like a dig.
I think I'd live in Staten Island.
Yeah, I could see
with
that.
all those greasy fucking losers.
All right.
Dave, you would fit right in Staten Island.
I got a couple of friends in Staten Island.
It's not nice to say about Rico.
Greasy.
It's not nice to say about Rico.
No, it's not.
I mean,
it's fucked up.
It's just how it is. I mean, I can call my friends greasy, can't I?
Not a rider.
I am a rider. I don't know. I don't follow that shit anymore. Real quick, do you guys want to talk just generic MLB offseason?
Yeah, what did you say about the Mets? I saw that, and then you kind of backtracked a little bit. What happened?
It was knee-jerk, but Thor Noah Syndergaard signed with the Anaheim Angels, just one of the worst organizations in the league, for I think it was $21 million, 1-year deal today. So the Mets offered him the qualifying offer, which is a 1-year deal. It's kind of like a franchise tag a little bit in the NFL, where it's a 1-year deal. Player can accept or reject it, and after that, you're a free agent. If the player rejects it, the team that signs that player gets they lose their second-round pick, and the team that lost the player to free agency, they get a compensation pick. So there's a lot of like kind of posturing and maneuvering that goes along with even offering a qualifying offer to a player. But so the Mets offered it, which in the qualifying offer, it varies in rate each year. This year it's about 18.5 million, and the Mets signed him for 21 million. So that means that the Mets lost him for $2.5 million, which is kind of the price tag you can put on the compensation pick for them. Then I dug into it a little bit. The Mets are going to have 5 top 100 draft picks, which is a ton, especially for a big market team. And Thor has only thrown 2 innings the last 2 years. I did not know that. I just assumed he had played in the COVID year. I knew he didn't play last year until like the last week of the season where he threw an inning or 2 or whatever. But so is it a loss? I don't know. Maybe. But it's not nearly as bad as I thought. But overall, as a whole, and I said that the Mets fans should be irate because it was only $2.5 million they lost him over, and the New York Mets should be able to just hand Noah Syndergaard an extra $2.5 million. But it's a lot more complicated than that. I was incorrect when I said Mets fans should be irate. They should be maybe a little pissed, but in the end, it doesn't matter. Fuck it. As a whole, for the Major League Baseball offseason, the current collective bargaining agreement is set to expire at midnight on, I believe it is the 30th of November. Are there 31 days or 30 in November? 30 days has September, April, June, 30. And November. 30 days.
30.
So December 1st is kind of acting like a little deadline on when you can sign anybody, because after that it's just dead. Dead period. Moratorium, no CBA. It's going to be shitty after that. So right now it's kind of like a flurry of signings being made and rumors that signings are going to be made for all these premier free agents that nobody anticipated would sign until like February or even March. So I like it. I like it right now because it's fun. There's always something happening. All the fake troll accounts are out. Like Bruce Levine retweeted a fake Bob Nightingale tweet today. I enjoyed that.
What was it about?
It said that the White Sox are close to acquiring Marcus Semien, Adam Eaton, Chris Bassett, and like another player, and all players that had at one point been with the White Sox.
It's like the 2014 roster.
Yeah, exactly. And
John Danks.
Yeah, and Bruce Levine retweeted it, and it clearly says not Bob Nightingale, and it was a joke, but the Score's main reporter and insider.
Have you ever eaten Barry McCockner, Ed?
I love Barry McCockner.
Have you ever got?
I actually don't think I have somehow. Not to like a huge extent. Dave loves him, so he retweets him and people thinks he got, which is funny. Mm-hmm. But Dave probably has in history the worst got of all time.
Well, that was a buddy of mine.
No. The Zobrist.
Well, that was a buddy of mine. So
was it?
This is exactly what happened. It was the Cubs official account. And it said, congratulations to Ben Zobrist for being named a Gold Glove finalist at second base this year. My buddy Austin retweeted it. As a joke, he retweeted it, but it was from like 2 or 3 years prior, and I didn't look at the date. It had the blue check mark and everything.
So you didn't give
I quote tweeted
check the date. Okay.
I quote tweeted. I'm like, what planet am I? And I just looked, and he played like 12 innings at second base this year, and everyone's like, look at the fucking date, you moron. It's like, I saw the check mark. Sorry, I don't look at the fucking dates. And Gold Glove is such a joke of an award that it wouldn't have shocked me. Like
those are always the sneakiest.
Outlandish.
The date.
Wait, who is the player?
Ben Zobrist.
Okay, I gotta look this up.
Those are the date ones are always.
Yeah, the date ones are tough. So
but it was a buddy of mine, and then I got dragged across the internet.
Does that sound about right to you, Ed? That you're the one who has the sharp memory. It seemed like you had latched on to something.
Dave's right. It was a date thing, but he still thought it was real. But
My buddy retweeted it.
Blue checks are tough, man.
As a joke to do what he did, and I happen to be the one to take the bait.
But that's like Aaron Rodgers is out Sunday against the Bears, and then someone retweets it from 2016, the night before.
Yeah. Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, that's exactly the same thing.
The people who, I think the people who think like that, and that like are like, ooh, this is a good one if I do this. We need to lock those people up, or maybe like at least just segment them from the population and get them thinking creatively in like other ways. That's just diabolical.
It's such a dangerous game now too, because I ran and I hammered the fucking who the Cardinals play. Why am I blanking out?
The Panthers?
What do you mean? I hammered the Panthers because, like, for whatever reason, back-to-back weeks they've said Kyler Murray's like out, like super late. You get the wrong information. You're gonna back yourself into a bad bet. You're not gonna be happy.
Oh my god. I mean, we don't.
Isn't that always a rush though? When you're rushing to think you could get like
before the line moves.
Exactly. Yeah, that's always a great rush.
Oh, did you hear? I heard the guy had some bad fucking crab cakes. Didn't go to Gale Street and he's shitting his pants.
I was the beneficiary of that on Saturday.
You shit your pants?
You did?
No, I got word that the UVA coach was out, and I got that line at 6.5, and then it came out, and then it moved to like 8.5 for Notre Dame. So it was great.
At what point did you order crab cakes?
I did not order any crab cakes, unfortunately. I love crab cakes. It's like one of my favorite hors d'oeuvres. Actually, I think you drafted. Somebody drafted it.
Yeah, appetizer. Yeah. That was my fifth or sixth overall pick from the appetizer
for the wedding draft, right?
No, Cons took them for the.
Oh, okay. But crab cakes are great.
Had crab cakes?
I like crab cakes. Dave, you don't?
I don't know them well. I don't know if I've ever had a good crab cake. I do. We'll crab off my grandparents' dock in New Jersey and cook crabs or boil them up. I don't like doing that though. Mm-hmm. They're alive, and then you watch them die, and then you eat them. That just doesn't sit well with me.
Well, hunting should be fun with you then.
No, I've been thinking about this a lot. So Chief and I are going hunting with Sydney Wells this weekend.
And Tommy's wearing the hat.
Both deer hunting and duck/goose hunting.
Hat.
Mm-hmm. And I think I'm too big of a pussy to kill a deer. Could you kill a deer? I should also add that I think I'm too big of a pussy to kill any mammal. Because I feel like mammals have feelings, like they feel love. Like
what'd you have for dinner last night?
A hanger steak.
Okay.
Like no, I know, but I didn't see it.
But you killed it.
I didn't kill it. I ate it.
Your demand for the product killed it.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, I know how it works.
That's what I
just
mean.
He didn't register for that class. No, I'm not. I regret to inform you.
I understand. I'm not some fucking vegetarian. What are you, a vegetarian? You eat beef and pork by the fucking carload. Who said it, Ed? But I just don't know if I could pull the trigger and watch the animal die in front of me. Yeah, I'm going to eat the fuck out of it after we process it. Hopefully we do get one. Mm-hmm. And we'll have meat for the rest of winter.
Are we splitting if we only get one?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Deal.
I wouldn't do it I would feel uncomfortable doing it for content.
But we're also going to...
Yeah, but
I'd feel much more comfortable if I was like, obviously I'm a novice, but if I went with a buddy and like and it was like a thing where I got to tag along and learn and like without, because I otherwise I feel like I'd be like, yeah, I'm out here to kill this deer because I got the fucking camera here and I want people to watch it.
But I don't know that I would do it.
It's unfair to the deer.
Yeah. Well,
so here comes Carl from Chicago.
Here's one.
With the cameraman.
What if a doe's walking by and she's got her little fucking...
You're talking Bambi, a Bambi situation.
Can you hunt deer in the Cook County Forest Preserve?
You can't hunt anything.
Unfortunately, no.
In forest reserves, I don't even think it's legal to have firearms on a forest reserve.
I don't know that. I don't think
they have controlled hunts, but that's like the state. That's not hunters.
Attaboy.
What? No, like It's like a lot of hunting is done in public lands.
I don't know forest reserve though. I think there's a difference. I could be
maybe.
wrong.
I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I've never hunted a single second in my life. I don't know what the fuck we're getting into. I'll be able to shoot a duck.
See, I think those should. I don't understand like your hierarchy there.
Because I feel like mammals have feelings,
but birds don't.
I don't think a bird has a feeling.
Oh, mammals have
like mammals have personalities. That's where I kind of draw the line.
Oh,
I think if you like, I think I dated this girl in Tennessee, and her family had a bunch of chickens, and you knew like certain chickens had different personalities.
I don't need to hear that.
They probably had like 12 different chickens running around, and a coyote or a fox or something got in their pen one time. And she had this like nephew who was like 8, and like we were walking out. They were all just like feathers everywhere, just destroyed. And this kid was like sobbing for 2 days. Yeah.
I don't need to hear that.
Yeah. So, but I would say that I think that they have little distinct personalities in a way too.
I mean, I don't know.
Could you imagine being a yote and coming across a fully fucking staffed hen house and not a... Oh, that's got to be a good day.
It's a great day.
Yeah, that's the best day if you're a yote.
Because you probably spend, after you have that experience, you probably spend each and every waking second trying to get back to that experience.
Fuck yeah.
Big time.
And I got to say, like...
Give me the coyote fact. Give it to me.
The coyote fact?
That's a great
I do
fact.
love that fact.
We've heard this
said
one a
like
lot.
so many times, though.
There's someone will hear
run
it
it back.
for the first time.
All right. So those howls, the coyote howls, are a roll call, and the females, based upon how many when they let out a call, based on how many male calls they receive back in that area, that determines how the litter size. So if there's a ton of males in the area, meaning like the coyote population is thriving, they might have a litter with 2 pups. If it's like very sparse, something metabolically triggers and they'll release 7 eggs and have 7 puppies. It's crazy.
It's an awesome fact.
It's a great fact. But I will say, if the coyote's smart enough to get into that hen house, you got to give credit. Tip your hat to the coyote.
Mm-hmm. So I recommend all you guys do this. Each and every one of you would love it. On
Thank
Netflix,
you, by the way. I love that fact.
On Netflix, there's a show. You guys have all seen Planet Earth, I'm assuming, correct? David Attenborough, I believe.
Yes.
It's awesome. Like, takes 10 years to film one season. It's called Animal on Netflix right now. It's only 4 one-hour episodes, so you can bust it out on a lazy Saturday. The dog facts are just out fucking standing in this show. So I think we talked about this.
Give me your top. Give me. Let's throw some against the wall.
We originally, because humans weren't always at the top of the food chain. We were hunted, tens of thousands of years ago. So
is that so?
We lived amongst wolves, yeah. And obviously you evolved to the point where you learn how to use fire and spears and shit, and then eventually the fucking internet and guns, all that stuff. And anyway, so there was a pack of starving wolves that walked up to a pack of starving humans, and the humans had like table scraps that they would feed the wolves, and in turn the wolves would protect them from predators. Boom, domesticated animals.
It's true.
I do love that.
That's a good fact.
Would you think you could domesticate a wolf, Dave?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
After thinking about it for a few seconds, I do. I mean, dogs love me.
Who would shape who more? You or the wolf?
Who would who? I'm sorry?
Would you have more of an influence over the wolf, or would the wolf?
It'd be symbiotic, just like 40,000 years ago when we domesticated
the
wolves.
good old days.
Yeah.
Of
it'd be a symbiotic relationship.
Mm-hmm. All right, I have a closing, at least on dogs. I thought of this this morning while I was looking at my dog, and I thought, I'm one of 2, maybe my mother-in-law, such a small number of people that actually know this dog. Like, I know everybody knows the dog, but you know how, like, you know your dog?
Oh, yeah.
You know your dog on a level where, like...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that's beautiful, but it's, like, unfair.
When did you have this thought?
This morning.
How much 3-chi?
No, none. No, he was, like, laying in bed, and I was like, man, I wish other people knew. Because when they see him out, people see him out, they're like, ooh. Like, he's big enough where, like, the stroller crosses the other side of the street, and the small dog gets, like, picked up and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't blame those people at all.
What's he weigh now?
90 pounds.
Oh, fuck, he's big.
He's a big boy.
85, 90.
He's got
Big.
30 pounds
He's
on
like...
my dog. He's solid.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's solid.
Mm-hmm.
But he's, like, so soft and harmless, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. You know what? Like, I just know there's going to come a time where I'm like, you don't understand, Your Honor. The dog is, and that's where the thought came from. Like, it's just unfortunate that I'm the only one that gets exposed.
Vouch for his character.
It's actually a good thought.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have similar stuff with Ace and George, but
it's an interesting thought.
George is such a little beta bitch that it doesn't, like, he just is non-threatening. People come up to him and just, like, he just
when I'm walking my dog down the side, you know how dogs will, like, take their nose and nudge you to, like, get attention and like demand you pet them with their nose. He does that when people are walking. He'll just go up to them and like nudge their hand.
Yeah.
And it freaks a lot of people out. And then not a lot. I'd say 10% of people it freaks out. 90% of people, they just immediately are smitten with them. And they'll pin his ears back and like curl up around their feet. And they're like, love him.
Yep.
Good boy.
Yeah, he's a good boy. I wonder what he's doing right now.
This is Redline Radio. Subscribe to the show. Subscribe to YouTube. Subscribe to Dog Walk. What else do we have? I thought there was one other thing I wanted to say. I had like an announcement. And make sure you go watch Dozen Trivia. Team Chicago
tonight.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Did you win?
No spoilers.
You fucking bastard, man.
Ed's all salty because we
you.
called him out for not seeing red.
I try to catch you up.
Oh, yeah. This is a Bulls podcast now, so get used to it. All gas.
No breaks.
DJ, play that shit.